Everybody, as you all know, that we find ourselves in the grip once again of load shedding here in South Africa. Power cuts are going to be the order of the day, or should I say the order of the week, as Eskom has announced to us. We have got the spokesperson of Eskom, Andrew Etzinger. He is here to, he's on the line to talk to us about the power cuts that we should be experiencing across the country. Andrew, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program.
Good morning, Leanne.
All right, Andrew, so just remind us, there was the Majuba silo that collapsed yesterday, and this, of course, has caused, one could say, catastrophe around the country.
Certainly on Saturday afternoon, a coal silo carrying about 10,000 tons of coal collapsed at our Majuba power station, and unfortunately the way the power station is configured meant that coal supplies were lost to the entire power station, and yesterday the country felt the brunt of that with rotational load shedding, which was necessary. Glad to say that overnight we've managed to install mobile coal conveyors, which has restored power to at least, or coal at least a portion of the power station, which is now producing power. So at this stage, the prognosis is a little better. We're not expecting rolling load shedding in the day. We're still at risk in the early evening from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which will be our peak time. But glad to say that at least from an economic point of view, the disruption to the economy seems at this stage to have been averted. We'll be restoring power, coal to the balance of the power station in coming days, starting with another 2 units with mobile coal conveyors, and then the remaining 2 units, there being 6 at the station, will be hopefully back in service within a week or 2, but we're first needing to clear rubble. So the entire power station will take time to come back online, but at least 2/3 of the power station will be back in service this week. So a far better outlook than what we had given over the weekend.
Okay, so things are looking a little bit better. So just to reiterate, I mean, we had originally been told that the load shedding schedule that is on the Eskom website and the various, like City Power and other power administrators throughout the country have said, you know, it'll be 2-hourly, 3-hourly, 4-hourly cuts throughout the day from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. So you're saying that you're at capacity now where there may not be any load shedding during the day. Is that correct?
That's exactly so, Leanne. So, of course, the system is tight. If we do see any other foreseen problems crop up, that may change the situation. But as we speak, no load shedding is planned, and that would affect both Eskom areas of supply as well as those of municipalities. So, all in all, we're in far better shape than we thought we would be, but nevertheless asking customers to please use electricity very conservatively so that we can build up our reserves and make sure we stay in the green today.
Well, indeed, you know, there was talk, and there still is talk, that these blackouts could be worse than what we saw in 2008, and that the power supplies are even less than they were in 2008, and that was a very, I suppose, black time, excuse the pun, for South Africa. So, again, just update us. Are those true speculations or not really?
That would have been a worst-case scenario. That would have been a scenario where the entire power station remained out of service for the week ahead. But once again, glad to say that we've managed to bypass the infrastructure which has collapsed. Since Saturday afternoon, the mobile coal conveyors brought in from other power stations have been rushed to the scene, put in place overnight. And we're glad to say that we're taking coal at about 1,200 tons per hour at the moment into the station, which is enough to keep 2 of the units running.
Okay, so let's just reiterate this now. Is this nationwide? Because I'm reading in some newspapers that they're saying it's Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, and Port Elizabeth are the most affected towns or areas in the country. Is this true, or is this nationwide?
It is nationwide. The schedule, the load shedding schedule is developed in such a way that it's fair to everyone. So everyone's suburb at some stage would be affected on the schedule. It's not to say that everybody would be affected on a particular day, because it's not necessary, for example, yesterday, that the entire country be shed at various times. So there could be people which were more affected than others, but had load shedding continued for a couple of days, someone who would have been affected on day one would not have been affected on day two, but different areas then would have been affected on day two. So once again, it's an equitable schedule. Everybody appears at some stage, depending on the day, the week, and the time of day. And the idea is to once, as you've indicated, to interrupt power for 2 to 3 hours, restore that power in one suburb, and then to interrupt power somewhere else. So that once again, the overall effect is a reduction in power, but to be fair, not more than 2 or 3 hours, depending on which municipality has put the schedule in. Certain municipalities have opted for a 2-hour interruption, others for a 3.
Okay. All right. Andrew, thank you very, very much for talking to us. I know we're going to put some contact details up on the screen right now. Write these numbers down. That's the email address as well. Visit the website, www.loadshedding.eskom.co.za. That's not the email address. That's the website address. So you can get onto that. Have a look at the schedule. Andrew, last question. As you say goodbye to me in 1 second, do we still follow that load shedding schedule that is on the website?
It's important to download it and to be aware of where we are on the load shedding schedule, where homeowners and businesses are on the load shedding schedule. But at this stage, we will not be implementing the schedule, but always to keep in mind, should something go wrong, that is what we would use if required.
All right. Thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us here on the program. All right. I hope that helped you. Let's take a look at our market.